Question 13 is looking at four contenders for the student council president, and we're given a table and they're asking us about the number of votes for each candidate we see. We're actually stepping into another probability, statistics, and data analysis question. Here we're thinking that this is a medium level according to the HiSet. The real question here that they're asking for is the true statement. And if you look percentage, they're asking about percentages of the girls or boys, depending on the question, for each of the candidates. So we pay attention here, percentage of girls, we're going to be comparing, for example, Omar, how many girls voted for Omar, but we're comparing it to all the girls that voted. So in this case, we're going to make some fractions, 50 over 220. And remember, how do we make a percentage? Well, percentage is done by using division. So if I was to say, what is 50 divided by 220? And then to make it a percent, we always then times by 100. Really, that's going to be moving that decimal over two spots. So we can type it in, but we don't have to. We know it's going to be roughly 22%. So the first thing we can do is, well, we can just kind of go down the list. Maybe something's going to jump out and we'll just know we think that's the answer, but we can always take the extra second to verify. So pay attention with what you're finding. Is it boys or girls? They're alternating to try and trick you a little bit here. And everything wants the higher percentage. So, okay, we're looking at boys for Grace. I see Grace. I see boys. So 60. Notice that the boys who voted, there were more boys in this school, was out of 280. Okay, if I'm going to the next one, girls. Girls was 45 for it. And that was again, girls are out of 220. Back to boys for the same person. Okay, that's a pretty big difference. 65, but remember, we're not comparing to 220, we're back to comparing to 280. So it'll be interesting to see what those numbers do. Even though more people voted, there's also more people in the class that are boys. And the last one is Scarlet, and it's the girls. Okay, that's a lot of people. 90 is the biggest number we've seen, and we're dividing it by the smaller number. I have a feeling that's going to be our answer. Well, let's just take a second and use our calculator to make sure we can verify. 60 divided by 280, about 21%. Again, I'm just moving that decimal over 2. Percentage is just an extra step. Okay, about 20%. 65 divided by 280. And if for some reason at any point you think you ever make a mess up, say I come in here and I go 65 divided by, and that's not the right answer, but just know that you're going to make mistakes sometimes on a calculator. So take the extra second and be like, did I type it in right? And then sometimes just re-verify, oh, that is the right answer. Okay. And this last one, again, we think it's the biggest number and we're dividing it by the smallest number. That should be hands down the biggest one. In this case, it's actually 40. If we want to talk about rounding, that 0 typically will be written as a 41 because the number next to it is bigger than 5. So really, I should be saying 41%. But for the highest percentage, hands down, 40 is going to beat anything in the 20s. Good luck. Keep up the hard work.